Hello, my name is Daniel Lang. I'm the author of a book entitled Reviving the Reformation: A Jewish Believer Peers Backward to Move Biblical Truth Forward. This is the third video in a series that explores why Jews do not believe in Yeshua. A sixth reason most Jews have rejected Yeshua is that Jews are unable to recognize Yeshua as the promised Jewish Messiah after he has been removed from the context of Judaism. A Messianic Jewish man in Chicago told me a story many years ago. He had been showing a Protestant, church-going woman around his home. When they came to a painting of a bearded Orthodox Jewish man on his wall, traditionally dressed with talit and tefillin, he pointed jokingly to the portrait and said, "This is Jesus." The woman became solemn and said, "I'm sorry, but you must be mistaken. This can't be a picture of Jesus." "Why not?" the man asked. "Because this man looks Jewish," the woman replied. Since most Gentiles who call themselves Christians do not see or portray Yeshua as the promised Jewish Messiah, Jews certainly have not seen him as such either, but as a foreign Gentile God. The Messianic faith is a Jewish faith, even though the Gentile church has transformed it over the years into something that is unrecognizable. Even though the Gentile church missed the mark by rejecting their Jewish roots, still, over 1 billion Christians in almost every country in the world have been exposed to the Hebrew Scriptures and the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This spreading of the knowledge of the God of Israel in the world far and wide sounds like the work of the Messiah. Recognizing this fact, some non-believing Jews have suggested that even though Yeshua is not the Jewish Messiah, he must be the Savior for the Gentiles. Moses Maimonides, in Mishneh Torah, Hilchot Melachim 11:4, understood that Yeshua's life caused the knowledge of the Messiah, the Torah, and the commandments to be spread throughout the world. According to Maimonides, even though the ideas coming from Christianity are false, they will pave the way for the real Messiah when he comes. A seventh reason most Jews do not accept Yeshua as the Messiah is because Jews have been persecuted in the name of Christ and by people who have affiliated with the Christian church in almost every period of history since the 1st century CE. One must understand that many claim to be believers in name, but few live as true believers. It is important to recognize that few Gentiles are true believers, even though they may identify culturally with a particular Christian group. The person who categorizes himself as a Christian but opposes the life that God has called him to live is masquerading under a false label. The righteous Gentile, Caspar ten Boom, once said, "If a mouse lives in the cookie jar, that doesn't necessarily make him a cookie." Since many sincere Gentile believers love the Jewish people, and a number died during World War II trying to save Jewish lives. An eighth reason most Jews have not become followers of Yeshua is that God has allowed a temporary and partial blindness to come upon the people of Israel. Various forces, some already discussed, are preventing the Jewish people from recognizing and following the promised Messiah. The Lord, however, will not allow this blindness of Israel to go unchecked much longer. The prophet Zechariah, in chapter 12, verses 9 through 11, writes that one day the Jewish people will come to accept the Messiah and mourn over their past rejection. "And it shall come to pass in that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that have come against Jerusalem. And I will pour out upon the house of David and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem the spirit of grace and of supplication, that they shall look unto me because they have thrust him through, and they shall mourn for him as one mourneth for his only son, and shall be in bitterness for him as one that is in bitterness for his firstborn. And that day there shall be a great mourning in Jerusalem, as the mourning of Hadra Rimon in the valley of Megiddon." In Hosea chapter 3, verses 4 and 5, Even though most of the nation of Israel has sat for many years with a neutral attitude toward God, they will soon come back to his goodness and find the Messiah, son of David. For the children of Israel shall sit solitary many days, without king and without prince, and without sacrifice and without pillar, and without ephod or teraphim. Afterward shall the children of Israel return and seek the Lord their God and David their king, and they shall come trembling unto the Lord and to his goodness in the end of days. This future time will be the day when the Jewish people will finally find shalom while holding fast to their God. Yeshua is not a household word in most Jewish homes today. The numerous misconceptions about the Messianic faith and the person Yeshua have contributed to this Jewish rejection of Yeshua as the promised Messiah of Israel. The Messianic faith, however, is a Jewish faith and appears to be based solidly in the Tanakh. May the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob give us the wisdom and motivation to discern his truth in these matters. I have written a book entitled Reviving the Reformation. A Jewish believer peers backward to move biblical truth forward. In this book, I have attempted to restore the first century Messianic faith of the earliest Jewish believers from Jerusalem. This video summarizes the second chapter of my book. For a deep discount on the soft cover of my book, go to my website, revivingthereformation.com, and buy the book from me using the promo code VIDEO. My book can be found at Amazon and other popular booksellers. Thanks for listening.